Russia cannot tolerate NATO's gradual invasion of Ukraine, Putin spokesman says.
Here's a summary of the article.
Russian President's spokesman said on Sunday that Russia began its military buildup along the Ukrainian border because it could no longer tolerate NATO's eastward expansion and gradual invasion of Ukraine. Appearing on CNN's Fareed Zakaria GPS, Putin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said the stage for the current border crisis was set decades ago, in the 90s. Roughly 100,000 Russian soldiers have recently amassed near Ukraine, leading to concerns that Russia will invade its neighbors soon. Unfortunately, the opposite thing started to happen since then, and NATO's military infrastructure started to get closer and closer to the borders of the Russian Federation, he added, saying that recent actions by the U.S. military led Russia to feel that its national security was being endangered. Peskov, a career diplomat and longtime Putin spokesman, accused NATO of being a weapon of confrontation, rather than a dove of peace. Russia has demanded a guarantee that Ukraine not become part of NATO, which it says would be a severe threat to its security. At first, they were just words, but with the time being, we have seen the gradual invasion of NATO into Ukrainian territory, with its infrastructure, with its instructors, with supplies of defensive and offensive weapons, teaching Ukrainian military, and so on and so forth. And that brought us to the red line. That brought us to the situation when we couldn't tolerate it anymore, said Peskov. White House National Security Advisor said last week that the threat of a Russian invasion was high, and U.S. intelligence said Moscow was planning a false flag operation as a pretext for launching an invasion into Kiev. Zakaria asked Peskov if there was any room for a potential compromise in the unlikely event that Ukraine becomes a NATO member sometime soon.
This post received a score of 13,000, with an upvote ratio of 95%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
And I'm sure Putin is going to save Ukraine from this invasion. It's gonna be an interesting year already.
To prevent the invasion of Ukraine, whom we have already invaded, we will be preemptively invading Ukraine.
Ukraine. NATO hasn't invaded anything. We invited them to protect us from you, Putin. Don't worry, I'll save you.
Stop resisting and get saved already.
It's like an intervention. You may not like IR, but you need it. Putin.
Russia is like an abusive ex threatening to kill their victim because someone stepped in to help them to safety.
Kind of mirroring their mentality on domestic violence.
If he beats you, it's because he loves you. Russian proverb.
That is only said by 70-year-old boomers in Russia. Younger people turned it into an ironic joke.
Greater than, I'm a spokesperson to Kremlin, and I officially can tell you that there are no Russian troops on Donbass and on Ukrainian soil, he said. And there goes any credibility that diplomat had.
He's a spokesman for the Kremlin, he didn't have any credibility to begin with.
Note that Steven Seagal is also a spokesman for the Kremlin.
He's been a spokesman for the Kremlin for 67 years.
That right there is a hint Me24, also known as a Skippy.
Rounds corners fatly.
Headline should read, Russia can't tolerate citizens of neighboring countries making their own minds up about their own business without Russian interference.
Seriously. What clowns?
Clowns with guns.
Worse. Far worse. Clowns with a colossal stockpile of nukes.
Forgive me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Russia the country that actually invaded Ukraine in 2014, and is now openly saying it will invade Ukraine again if it wants to? Apparently, a sovereign country, Ukraine, letting foreign troops on its soil is an invasion. These clowns aren't even trying to hide their ruthless ambitions anymore.
They are still occupying Ukraine. They never left after that invasion.
All the Russians I know say, how can we invade our own country? Ukraine is Russia. Western media doesn't understand and make up these lies. And they are dead serious. My friend even said I'm so Western in my politics, so brainwashed by Western media. I hope this helps others understand how different people think around the world.
Sounds like how the Chinese see Taiwan.
Greater than sounds like how the mainland Taiwanese see Taiwan. FTFY.
Why don't we ask Ukraine what they think?
Nah, we only care what people think if it affirms they want to join Russia.
Fuck you, Putin.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.